Welcome to Masters at Wagtail. Today I want to talk to you about your pineal gland. How is this relevant to this epidemic that we have going on? Now, this is some deep stuff, and I'm going to probably educate some of you, and some of you are probably going to be skeptics, and some of you are probably going to dismiss it. A lot of you are in denial. But no matter what you are, what you're feeling right now, if anyone could actually see the knowledge in what I'm about to tell y'all is on their way. Let's put it that way. All right? This time that the government has allowed us to have, no matter how negative it may seem, yeah, you may lose business. If you're a small owner and operator, yeah, you may be struggling. Of course. But what don't kill you will make you stronger. So what I want to tell you is that why not change this frown upside down and put a smile on your face? Because God is good. You're alive and you're breathing. That means you get a do-over. That means you get to change whatever you want to happen in your life. It's almost like being born again. So I call this the Great Awakening, the Great Coronavirus Awakening. Because what it's doing is pulling people together. You got more people now helping others than they have ever had helped in their life. There's a lot of that going around. It's making people more considerate. Being social distancing will make someone, when they do come in contact with them, appreciate another human being and want to help them. This is getting us back in touch with ourselves. So use this time wisely to get back in touch with yourself to the things that's most important, like saving your soul so you're not damned into hell. Putting you back on track as a spiritual, loving, and kind human being as the universe demands you to be. So let's talk about the pineal gland. What is it? What is it? You know, your pineal gland. It's a, how can I put it? It's this third eye. It's actually wired into the visual cortex. It has retinal cells inside. And what are they looking at? They're looking at water. The water has DMT crystals in it. DMT crystals are piezochromatic, which means they can be vibrated by electromagnetic fields and release colored photon of all the colors of the rainbow. So you can get full color vision from your soul, which is flying around. And then a lot of people, when they have an OBE, they see the cord, which is the connection between the soul and the physical body. And many people who experience this is connected to your third eye. You can go out and explore, but you're tethered to your body. Anything you see with that soul body goes through the cord. The photons actually travel through and goes inside your pineal gland. Once it's activated, which is placed in darkness, all right? You activate your pineal gland, and then your retinal cells will actually see stuff that your soul is seeing. It's because it's DMT crystals that are vibrating, and the signals are sent to your cerebral cortex. This is getting real scientific and technical. You have to learn how to identify when your third eye is seeing something. What does it look like? How do you measure it? How do you see? And one of the things is that it comes in snapshots. When you start to get visions from your third eye, they are not going to last very long. Remember when I told you before is that when you're meditating and you're a mere observer of your consciousness, it comes like a bunch of commercials all jumbled up. None of it makes sense. All right, you know what I mean? And it doesn't last very long. So it's a very, very fast process. So little bursts of visual information are very important. Visualization is important. This is why you want to document. This is what remote viewers do. It's very important. Your pineal gland requires that you have a free amount of water in there for it to work. So what you have to do is change your diet. When you get into Western diet, you get into pineal calcification. What does that mean? That means calcium deposits are building up in your pineal gland, and almost in some cases, all of the water is consumed by calcium deposits. This is what Hitler has done before with the prisoners and fluoride. Fluoride actually clings to your pineal gland like a magnet. It calcifies it. Your pineal gland is your control console. It's your spiritual link to the spiritual world. This is where all your wisdom comes from. Your common sense, your know-how. If it gets to the point where it's almost all out of water, you will start to have physical problems. You will get degenerative to problems like Parkinson's disease and diabetes. You'll get what else? Cancer. It's associated with calcification. Your nerves will start to break down. There's other things that regulate as well. So the deep state people, if you know what that's all about, the pineal gland is the secret to the third eye, and they are trying to suppress its functionality. Now, how do they do that? One of the things is that they will give you wheat. So I'm going to put it out there right now. Believe it or not, wheat products, even if it's whole wheat, right? It's the additives that they made to the wheat that binds everything up. They bind it to your colon, and all the times that your colon twists, the wheat gets stuck in there. So even if you're a vegan, I don't recommend eating whole wheat at all. Just eat other types of grains besides wheat and corn, and soy for that matter. Excuse me. Soy burgers, soy hot dogs. Soy is terrible, okay? These are weaponized foods. You don't want to put them in your body. You can get natural stuff, and if you want to be vegetarian, you can still eat eggs, of course. And a lot of vegetarians will make that compromise. You get a lot of goodness out of eggs, especially if the yolks are dark orange. So this is very, very important. The whole wheat and regular white especially is very bad. A fine sugar is bad for pineal gland. You will definitely get a buildup in your pineal gland if you're eating a lot of sugar. Another thing that's very bad is that the halides, the halide family refers to fluoride, chlorine, and all that stuff. So if you're drinking water that is not purified, you're getting that into your body. If you take showers without using a shower filter, that could affect you as well. It's not a big deal. But don't freak out about that. So it's not really terrible, but if you're taking showers without the shower filter, even though you might not have one, it's not a big deal. It's much more about as what you actually ingest with your mouth, okay? So you want to be really, really careful to avoid, like, for example, I don't ever use fluorinated stuff, like fluorinated toothpaste, fluorinated mouthwash, fluorinated products in general. I don't use it. Don't use it. It's not good for you. The whole idea that you should have fluorinated toothpaste is not true. Don't believe it. It's your enemy. So now I want to talk about some other stuff. And yeah, I pulled in, I'm about to get out and get some suds because, you know, what else you going to do besides relax, enjoy yourself, and concentrate on the most things that are important, since you have your brain to dedicate a lot of focus on other things that are important in your life. But the next thing I want to talk about is indigenous people. All right? People that's been eating food for thousands of years with not all that other crap. Those people had less than one cavity per 1,000 teeth. Everyone had great teeth. Everyone had no crooked teeth. They didn't break bones. They didn't get heart disease. They didn't get diabetes. They didn't get cancer. They wouldn't break bones when they fell. They were psychic, and they lived really long lives. All right? So a lot of this stuff is not in our best interest. Too much of anything is bad for you. You know, what else I want to say? If you are a meat eater, there's lots of options, all right? Because animal protein has this substance in it called activator X. Activator X, whatever the heck it is, I don't know if it's a chemical, I don't know if it's a series of chemicals, I don't know if it has some kind of energetic qualities, but it does show up in types of animal proteins. And what this stuff does, well, you can actually eat eggs, and if you don't eat eggs, you're not taking full advantages of the possibilities of decalcifying your pineal gland. The best way to decalcify your pineal gland is activator X. If you're a vegetarian, you can eat eggs. You can find whatever eggs you have available. If you can find any eggs right now, more power to you, because it's getting really, really short supply. You know, like toilet paper, you know. So if you can find the eggs that have the dark orange yolks, it has way more activator X in it than the light yellow yolks. This is your best bet if you're a vegetarian. There's a company called, what's the name of it? Happy Egg Farms, I think it is. I think. But they have what they call blue eggs. I didn't know they had blue eggs. They have two types of chickens, I think, and one is called spotted leg something or another. But they're heirloom eggs. They have weird shells. They have, some of them are blue, some of them have brown spots. The shell is nice, very hard to crack. You have to crack it a lot harder. You open it up, it's dark orange, and that is loaded with activator X, okay? This is the type of eggs that you should be eating. If you are a meat eater, it's really good to to try to get the most ethical meats possible. I do not support factory farm slaughtered animals and all that kind of crazy nonsense with the GMO and mechanically processed. Invest your money into companies that treat animals as humanely as possible, you know, ethically as possible. You're never going to convince people not to eat meat. It's not going to happen. Not the best thing you can do is to try and get the people who are going to eat meat, even if you hate it, to at least support things that treat animals ethically, humanely, that live out in the field all day. Don't leave them in the factory. Let them go out and stretch their legs. Let them go out in the pasture. Don't give them antibiotics. Don't give them drugs. Don't give them steroids. All right? So almost exclusively, you need to eat buffalo, bison, because bison are required by federal law. They cannot be manipulated, abused, poisoned, etc. They don't get antibiotics. They don't get steroids. They're out there in the wild, and that's the way they live their whole lives, okay? So when you get into that kind of stuff, you get into the really, really nicely done proteins that are ethically raised. They are very high in activator X. So if you eat bison and buffalo on a regular basis, it's very high in activator X. But this is Masters at Wagtail, and I will speak to you more about on this subject, and I'll see you in the next one. Bam!